developer at Neutech. I'm working primarily on tourism data, and today I will show you the Open Data Hub Web Component Store. Then let's start. I will start with a brief introduction. What is a web component and why we use it? A web component is, in simple words, it is a widget. And it is a custom HTML element, and you can integrate it easily on your website. That's the advantage of the web component. You should have no issues by integrating it on your website. And how can you build a web component? You can use plain JavaScript, or you use a library called lit_element. It's a very common JavaScript library to create web components. Or you can use a JavaScript framework like React.js, Vue.js, or one of the hundreds of JavaScript web frameworks out today. Then how can you integrate a web component in a web page? You have to do 3 steps. We have to load the script. We see it here with the script tag. Then add the custom HTML tag. And then you have to configure the parameters. Here we see that the parameter is the title, Hello World. It's a very simple example. Then let's go ahead. We go to the Web Component Store. The Web Component Store is available under webcomponents.opendatahub.com. It's our place to publish all web components that are using the Open Data Hub API. We have a lot of web component online. We have web component from the mobility data space, real-time web components, ski area web components, tourism web components, and so on. You can go on the site and browse the web component directly there, check out the site. Then what offers the Web Component Store? It offers a preview of a web component. You can directly configure the web component on the store, and it will immediately display the changes, the configuration made. Then it generates code snippets. With the help of these snippets, you can easily integrate the web component on your site. And the information like description, parameter description, and also the author information, and the link to the repository of the web component is there. And now we see here, this is a web component with all configuration parameters on the screenshot. The Web Component Store offers a function like the copy embed code, where you can copy. First you configure the web component, then you use this button, and the configuration is directly stored into this code. You can use it immediately on your website. There's another functionality, the Open a New Tab button, and this Open a New Tab button generates a reusable full-screen link with all configuration stored. We will see it now on an example of a pre-configured ski area web component for a totem usage. At example, imagine you are an accommodation in the middle of 2 ski areas, and you want to visualize to your guests the status of the ski area, because the guests every day will come to the reception and ask, is the slope X open, is the lift Y open, and so on. Then you can use our Web Component Store. I will load this tourism scheme for web component. Then let me choose 2 ski areas. I can directly configure it here. For example, I will choose Meran 2000. Then let's visualize also Schnalz, at example. Okay. Then I set it to display mode and enable an auto scroll. Now I'm using this Open a New Tab link. It generates here, you see this attributes query string, and here all the configuration is stored. And directly I could put it on a monitor in a hotel, at example, and let it there playing non-stop and showing all informations to the tourists, so they don't need to ask. Here we see that it's not perfect. We see these ugly scroll bars here. So if someone of you is a good front-end developer and is motivated to look into this web component, clone the repository, make a bug fix, and make a pull request to us, we would be very nice to see if someone contributes on our web components. We see it's working very well. So then let's go ahead with the presentation. Okay. Then let's do another example. We now built a website which shows information about the city of Bolzano with some of our web components. For this, I created a blank HTML with some titles inside. Then, because time is short, to not lose time, I pre-filled this. It's on the other screen, I think. Okay. Then I pre-filled this with the copy embed code from the web component store. And now let's see what is. I will reload the web component. And then let's see what's the result. We have information how to arrive to Bolzano. The weather in South Tyrol is displayed. The weather forecast is filtered for Bolzano. We have webcams of Bolzano. Let's see. Okay. Then we have the points of interest. Let's look at example. Museion is there. It's not a static web component. You can filter and do some interactions. Then the gastronomies of Bolzano are listed, and we see the parking information. We see that on Piazza Walter there are not many places left. We see the e-charging stations. And finally, I put the events at Neue Tech Park. The Open Data Hub Day 2025 Developers Room is taking place now. So we see that with help of these web components, building a landing page was never that easy. Let's go ahead. Then the next step is how can we publish your web component? We have guides on web components, opendatahub.com. Here we have video guides how to add a web component on your site and also how to create a web component. Check it out. As said before, contributors are welcome for extensions and bug fixes. Please create a pull request. We will see if we are able to integrate it. And what we would appreciate is if you start developing your own web component, like this tourism scheme that was developed by a stagist of us, Henry. How is the information stored for the web component store? There's a manifest file, and it contains all metadata of the web component, and all configuration parameters are described in this manifest JSON file, and there is also an online validator on the web component store present where you can validate this manifest file if everything is working as it should. It's needed to configure the web component directly on the store. So what is the only constraint of publishing a web component to our store? You have to use data from the Open Data Hub API. Here we see you can use our boilerplate to build a web component, or you clone an existing web component and modify it by your needs. That's up to you. The web component store is also available as open source on this repository here. It's fully Dockerized. You can start an instance of the web component store on your machine and deploy your web component to it to test it immediately. If you want to make a web component, please contact us at help@opendatahub.com and send us the repo of your web component, and we will be happy to integrate it. Add a valid manifest file, and the web component should work this way. It should produce only one JavaScript file at the end. The next chapter, the usage statistic. We have introduced a parameter called origin, and with this parameter we see which web component calls our APIs. So you see here origin web component mobility, origin web component weather. It's important to add this parameter because if a web component is integrated on a website, the website automatically sends the HTTP referrer as header. And with this data, we can identify the most used web component. And in how Antonietta said before, the web component How to Arrive in South Tyrol is very well used. Here we see all the URLs where it is integrated, and that's one of many URLs. And if you are interested and full of ideas, start developing your web component, and maybe you become the next Open Data Hub Contributor of the Year. And that was it from my side. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Rudy, for your presentation. We have still 3 minutes, so there is space for one question, if someone has it.
What about the styles of the web component? Is it static or is it dynamic? So the CSS can be... Sorry. What about the style? So the CSS, is it static or...
We have different web components. We have some web components where you can choose the font you want, and maybe also the color. At example, on the event web component, you can set the color, but setting the whole CSS is not so easy because it would break the whole web component. So, the web component itself is not static; it's dynamic. You can interact with it. So,
thank you.
Thank you. Very nice project. And my question is, you said that there is one condition that you have to call the API from Open Data Hub, but the component itself can also call other APIs? So
sure,
there is no limitation?
Sure. At least it has to call one call has to be on the Open Data Hub APIs. So but you can call also other APIs. That's no problem.
Saying hello, it's also okay.
Okay.
Just a question, I'm not a technician. Just to understand, if in the future we will put at disposal of Open Data Hub our ski tracks, our Nordic ski tracks, it means that we can create our web components to put to the community at usage through Open Data Hub, right?
Sure, yes. That's the big advantage of this whole project.
And it's possible also to integrate data and maps from a third party, like Contwise Map from General Solution?
You know, if they have an API that can be called without authorization key, because a web component authentication is not so easy to handle with web components. It has to be open data, then it is possible also.
Thank you.
Yeah, and maybe I can add also that another advantage that to share data with the Open Data Hub, it's that the slopes of the Nordic skiing could be also rendered in already existing web components. So you can create your own one, but you will also get visibility in the other already existing one. So it expands the visibility of the data.
Yes, it's one of the aim of the project in the future. Like I said, we started from some months ago, and the potentiality is very big. We will put at disposal of Open Hub Day Open Data Hub, our data, so it will be accessible to everyone. Yes.
Super. We will be really happy to have your data. So.